Hi guys, Chris here. I thought I'd just do a very quick video on how I prepare my breakfast and lunch the night before. It's super easy. You don't have to go out and buy anything at, local supermarket or shops or any junk food. You can just make your food at home and have a nice healthy meal to eat the next day. So let's get into it. So guys, all you need first of all is a pan with some foil on, and then just start putting the potatoes on. These are new potatoes, or small potatoes as we call them, baby potatoes. Next guys, these are purple sweet potatoes. So I saw these in the supermarket today. I've never ever had them before, and I'm going to try them, so I'm going to cook some of these as well. There we go, and that there will be enough carbohydrates and starch to form the basis of my breakfast and dinner. And then guys, it's just as simple as a case of putting it in the oven or whatever device you have. So this here is an Argus. This actually burns oil. It's basically like a big engine. So I'm just going to shove this in there like so, and then I'm just going to turn it on. In terms of temperature, cooking potatoes, about 180, 200 degrees seems to do the trick. You don't necessarily need to worry too much about the temperature, just checking them regularly, make sure they're not getting burnt or overdone, and then we'll get into the next stage. So then guys, the next stage is basically you need 2 Tupperware boxes. Ideally both of them would be different, that way they're easy to identify. One is your breakfast and one is your lunch or dinner, and that way you don't get them mixed up. If you're diabetic like me and you have to weigh everything out and eat certain box, otherwise your insulin might be a bit off, so you need 2 of them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to chop some veg up. So guys, for those of you who are diabetic, you can ignore this stage because you don't need to weigh your food, but all I do is I basically have some like electric scales here, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my tomatoes, put them on there. Let's see, I might add some more. So that then says 146, and then all I'll do is I just write on Tom 146 like so. This is pak choy guys. Let's see if I can I'm gonna have to do it. There we go, and then just put it on like this, and then I drop some down here, and then all I do is, so it says 145, I'll add bell pepper. So now I'm going to add all this, like that. So it says 151. So as you can see, I don't write the full thing down, so for red bell pepper I just put RB, and I'll just write 151 like that. And now that's basically done guys, so all I do is I just basically put this to one side over here, and then basically it's just a simple case of once my potatoes are done in the oven, I'll just basically put my potatoes out on the side overnight. This here will go in the fridge in a bit, and then what I'll do is in the morning I'll then take my potatoes out and chop them up, weigh them, add them to that, and that's basically it guys. And this here guys is my lunchbox. I'm just going to do the same thing, so I'm just literally going to put that on there, set it to 0, and then basically just start chopping up the veg. I'll chop up the bell pepper, pak choy, tomatoes, add that all into that, weigh it like I did that, and then it's just a simple case of putting that on the side. And then one tip I'd probably give you guys is try and avoid taking cooked non-starchy vegetables into work. So what I find is guys, things like broccoli, carrots, things like that, they tend to kind of lose their colour, and they can kind of smell a bit sometimes. They might not smell the best to your work colleagues. So instead of having cooked non-starchy vegetables which you take into work with for your breakfast and your lunch, instead have raw non-starchy vegetables, so tomatoes, bell peppers, spring onions, chopped up beets, different things like that, celery, and basically have that with your potatoes instead. Now then, I find the potatoes, they're completely fine, it's cooked food. I cook them and I'll have them the next day, they're okay. Like I said, it's just sometimes the broccoli or sprouts or whatever, they can smell a bit and they just tend to lose the colour. So I instead kind of reserve cooked non-starchy vegetables for my evening meal, because I can obviously cook everything then, and then I will have it then basically, so it's not like sitting around in the fridge or in a Tupperware box. That seems to work quite well. And I'd say one of the big tips I'd probably give you, some of you guys, especially if younger fellas, is just do it. Don't sort of paralyze yourself into a state of inaction because you don't know what to cook. Just start doing it, and over time, you'll get better. You'll make mistakes. Sometimes you'll burn things. You'll overcook things. You'll make a bit of a mess of it. I've done that. But the only way you'll get yourself to the stage where you can cook all your own food and not have your parents do it for you, or not you're in a situation where you don't have to rely on fast food or junk food, is just do it yourself. And it's really easy. It doesn't have to be hard, and it's simple as that. Chopping up loads of veg, like I just do, put it in a Tupperware box, put some potatoes in some foil, put the potatoes in the oven, cook them, and then you're done. Then it's as simple as that, guys. And that's basically my second one there, guys. So I just finished making that. So I've got tomatoes, yellow bell peppers, spring onions, and pak choy in that one. And that's basically how I write my notes down, guys. So I just put, I don't write it in full. I just make it nice and simple. So I just put breakfast, Tom for tomatoes, pak for pak choy, RB for red bell pepper, Tom pak, YB yellow bell pepper, SO spring onions. And that's basically how I do it, guys. And then what I'll do is I'll go into Chronometer and I'll basically just log each one of these, and then that way I can start seeing all my vitamins and minerals for tomorrow. These are now done, guys, so it's now just time for me to shove these in the fridge, like so. And if you're wondering, don't worry, the flora isn't mine. I don't live on my own. I live with other people, family, and they're not vegan, so like the flora and the milk is theirs, definitely not mine. So another tip I'll probably give you guys is, in terms of nutrition and stuff, so you might actually be better off chopping up your veg the morning right before you go to work. I actually do normally do it before I go to work. Now I think about it, the main reason I'm doing it tonight is just because I wanted to make this video, basically, and it's easy for me to do it now than it is to do it tomorrow morning when I'm in a rush. So that's another thing, guys. So basically just be flexible with it. Just take what I'm giving you and adapt it to fit you. So if it's easy for you to chop your veg up in the morning before, then do that. If it's easy for you to do it the night before, do that. I definitely say cooking potatoes the night before is probably easy because they take 40 minutes or whatever in the oven. The best perhaps do them the night before if you can. And I think in terms of nutrition, I think there's probably more goodness in it if you chop it right first thing in the morning instead, just to perhaps a little bit fresher, then perhaps there's a bit more goodness in it. But either way, it's still going to be healthy and nutritious. You're still going to do well on it. And the next stage now, guys, now that we've done that, is basically just check on the potatoes. So all I do is I basically just take it out. Let's see if I can grab it. Take it out like this, like so. And then I just get a knife, guys, and I just try and, so as you can see, it's not anywhere near cooked yet. So it's only been in the oven about like 10 minutes. Obviously, it's not going to be done yet, but it's just sort of showing you how I check on it. So I literally just take it out of the oven, try and stab a knife in it, and when it's done, the knife will easily be able to just slide into the potato and out again. If you're having to like jam it in there, with quite a lot of force, then it isn't ready. That's how easy it is, guys. So guys, just taking my potatoes out of the oven, and as you can see, the knife's sliding in nice and easy. Oh, taking it off. So that's basically it, guys. That is how I make my breakfast and my lunch the evening before. As you can see, very simple, very easy, very quick. I know this video might be perhaps a bit long, a bit drawn out, but I'm sure you get the picture. Super easy. And all I'll do now is, the potatoes are still warm, they're still hot. So what I do is I'll just let them cool down. And then usually what I do is I just usually leave them in that tray overnight. And then what I might do is I might just put a bit of foil on it, just sort of no flies get to it, in case the dog gets hungry and jumps up on the table and tries to eat it. So I'll just cover that with some foil. And then tomorrow morning what I'll probably do is I'll get both those boxes out with all the chopped vegetables in. I'll put them on the weighing scales. I'll then just chop up the potatoes, put them in, weigh everything out, write it down. And that's it, guys. Put the lid on top and that's it. Take it to work and eat it. And what I usually do is, guys,
I'll usually microwave it, but you're probably thinking, hang on, microwaving vegetables, like raw vegetables, that's disgusting. Well, what I do is, guys, as you notice, I put my, raw vegetables on the bottom first. And the reason why is, what I do is I will take the lid off, and then I put the lid down like that, and then what I'll do is I'll take the potatoes out of the Tupperware box and put them on top of the lid, which because it's microwavable, and then I just put that in the microwave the potatoes for about 2 minutes, and roughly until they're nice and warm. And then all I do is I take the lid back out of the microwave, put the potatoes back in the Tupperware box, put the lid back on, and literally just walk back to my desk, and I'll eat them at my desk in work. And that's how I do that, guys. That way my raw veg, like my tomatoes and stuff, don't get microwaved, they're just on the side, and that way I can do my potatoes. And that works really well for me, and I think it would probably work well for most people. It's a bit different if you haven't done it before. It might seem a little bit daunting at first, but like, it is super easy. It isn't hard. I do it all the time. That's how I eat now. And what I'd say is, guys, if you kind of struggle and try and aim to get a bit of a, like a routine, get into like a bit of a, like a rhythm, or in terms of eating and what have you. And if you do that, it'll definitely help in the long run. You'll definitely be a lot better off for it. And don't be scared about, what's the word, sort of monotony. I can't pronounce it. Monotony, or you know what I mean. Basically repetition, eating the same things all the time. Eat the foods that you love over and over again, as long as it's whole foods, it's not processed junk food, and it's high carb, low fat, you'll do fine. Yeah, so I hope that was useful, guys. Sorry if I rambled on a bit, sorry if it was a bit too long. I hope you got the gist of this video. I hope it made sense. If it didn't, let me know below. Perhaps let me know what you do. So if you're a vegan, how do you prepare your breakfast and your lunch for the following day? What do you eat? How do you make it? What do you do? How do you plan ahead? How do you prepare? It'll be interesting for me to see your comments. And it's just not that though, by commenting, it allows other people to read your comments, and, for you to basically get your ideas out there to help other people. So I hope that was useful, guys. Until next time, as always, God bless to all of you. All the best. Hope you're all doing well. And as always, go high carb, low fat, low protein, high fiber, whole food, plant-based vegan. Bye bye now, guys. Hi guys, Chris here. I thought I'd just do a very quick video on how I prepare my breakfast and lunch the night before. It's super easy. You don't have to go out and buy anything at, local supermarket or shops or any junk food. You can just make your food at home and have a nice healthy meal to eat the next day. So let's get into it.
So guys, all you need first of all is a pan with some foil on, and then just start putting the potatoes on.
Do the trick. You don't necessarily need to worry too much about the temperature, just check on them regularly, make sure they're not getting burnt or overdone, and then we'll get into the next stage. So then guys, the next stage is basically you need 2 Tupperware boxes. Ideally both of them would be different, that way they're easy to identify. One is your breakfast and one is your lunch or dinner, and that way you don't get them mixed up. If you're diabetic like me and you have to weigh everything out and eat certain
it's the starch to form the basis of my breakfast and dinner.
And then guys, it's just as simple as a case of putting it in the oven or whatever device you have. So this here is an Argus. This actually burns oil. It's basically like a big engine. So I'm just going to shove this in there like so, and then I'm just going to turn it on. In terms of temperature, cooking potatoes, about 180, 200 degrees seems to do certain box, otherwise your insulin might be a bit off, so you need 2 of them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to chop some veg up.
So guys, for those of you who are diabetic, you can ignore this stage because you don't need to weigh your food, but all I do is I basically have some like electric scales here, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my tomatoes, put them on there. Let's see, I might add some more. So that then says 146, and then these are new potatoes, or small potatoes as we call them, baby potatoes. Next guys, these are purple sweet potatoes. So I saw these in the supermarket today. I've never ever had them before, and I'm going to try them, so I'm going to cook some of these as well. There we go, and that there will be enough carbohydrate